Learning English as a second language can feel daunting, but what if we could tap into the hidden power of our subconscious mind? Psycholinguistics, the study of how our minds process language, offers insights for unlocking a smoother and more intuitive language learning journey. Let's explore how to use these principles to psych out our subconscious and make language learning feel effortless. The subconscious mind is powerful. By tapping into it, we can bypass the critical filter that often hinders fluency. This allows for a more intuitive and natural language acquisition process. Instead of overthinking grammar rules, we can focus on absorbing the language through meaningful interactions and enjoyable activities. Surround yourself with English through movies, songs, and even background TV. Engage in playful activities like karaoke or language exchange, and focus on understanding meaning rather than memorizing rules. This immersion quiets the critical voice inside. Focusing on grammar rules alone overstimulates your critical filter. Instead, I suggest you engage with meaningful content that excites you. Read captivating stories, watch emotionally engaging films, or discuss topics that ignite your passion. This emotional connection will strengthen your association with the language and make learning more enjoyable. Lower the stakes of learning. Opt for playful activities like reading comic books in English or participating in a language exchange program. This approach allows you to relax and enjoy the process without the pressure of formal study. Our minds are association machines. Building connections between words, sounds, and experiences enhances learning. For example, associating the word apple with the image of a red, round fruit and the taste of its sweetness creates a multi-sensory link that reinforces memory. Repetition of these associations strengthens neural pathways, solidifying the link between the word and its meaning. Visualize your success in speaking English. This mental practice primes your brain for real-life conversations. Each of us is inherently successful, whether in mastering a skill, building relationships, or even in our unique ways of navigating challenges. It is the natural rhythm of our existence. Emotions anchor language learning. Watch films and read stories that stir feelings to deepen language connections. Here are 3 ways to use emotions to anchor language learning. Positive emotions create strong memory associations. By linking positive feelings to language learning experiences, you can boost motivation, retention, and enjoyment. Celebratory rituals, after a successful lesson or reaching a language goal, have a small celebration. It could be as simple as playing a favorite song, sharing a treat, or giving yourself a high five. This associates positive emotions with the accomplishment. Reward system. Create a reward system tied to language learning milestones. The reward could be anything from watching an episode of your favorite show in English to buying yourself a small gift. This builds anticipation and excitement around learning. Immersion in enjoyable content. Choose language learning materials that genuinely interest you. Watch comedies in English, listen to music you love, or read books that captivate you. The positive emotions tied to enjoyment will enhance your language acquisition. Emotions are a powerful trigger for memory. By associating new vocabulary with strong emotions, you can make words more memorable and meaningful. By incorporating emotional anchors into your language learning routine, you can tap into the power of your subconscious mind to accelerate and enhance your acquisition process. Remember, language learning is most effective when it's fun, engaging, and emotionally resonant. Use mnemonics and imagery to make vocabulary memorable. The crazier the association, the better it sticks. Here are some examples of using mnemonics and imagery to make vocabulary memorable. Let's start with the word serendipity, which means the occurrence and development of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way. Mnemonic image. Imagine a giant furry serpent wearing a tiny top hat and sipping tea on a bench. A fairy sprinkles dip on its head, causing a shower of confetti and a rainbow to appear. Here's another word, obstreperous, which means noisy and difficult to control. The mnemonic image can be to envision a group of mischievous obsters, whereas obsters equals lobsters, and they are throwing a wild party inside a submarine, banging on pots and pans, creating a raucous uproar. Remembering words with these associations solidifies it into our long-term memory. Effortless learning doesn't mean no effort. It's about smart, strategic practices that align with how our brains work. Consider spaced repetition. Instead of cramming, revisit vocabulary and concepts at increasing intervals. This allows your subconscious to consolidate learning, making recall feel effortless over time. Also, remember comprehensible input. Immerse yourself in enjoyable English content that's slightly above your current level. This could be reading interesting books, watching movies with subtitles, or listening to podcasts. Your brain naturally absorbs language patterns and vocabulary when you're engaged and understanding the gist of the content. Incorporate daily exposure to English. Short, consistent sessions build and reinforce your language skills better than cramming. Here are some ways to get daily exposure to a foreign language, making it a seamless part of your routine. Here are ways to implement. Change your device language. Switch your phone, computer, or social media settings to your target language. Listen to music and podcasts. Discover foreign language artists or listen to podcasts on topics that interest you. Watch movies and TV shows. Stream movies and shows in your target language, starting with subtitles if needed. Label your home. Put sticky notes on household items with their names in the foreign language. Follow foreign language accounts. Follow social media accounts that post in your target language. Language learning apps. Use apps like Duolingo, Babbel, or Memrise for short daily lessons and practice. Read. Find articles, blogs, or even children's books in your target language. Write. Keep a journal, write social media posts, or even compose emails in the foreign language. Speak. Talk to yourself, find a language exchange partner, or join an online language group. Think. Try to think in the foreign language, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. Remember to make learning fun by cook foreign cuisine, follow recipes in your target language, and learn food-related vocabulary. Language games. Play online games or board games designed for language learners. Find a tandem partner. Connect with a native speaker who wants to learn your language and practice together. Remember, start small. Even 10 to 15 minutes of daily exposure can make a big difference. Make it enjoyable. Choose activities that interest you to stay motivated. Be consistent. The more you incorporate the language into your daily life, the faster you'll progress. By making small changes to your daily routine and incorporating these strategies, you can create a rich and immersive language learning environment that will accelerate your progress toward fluency. Spaced repetition is a key tool. It helps your mind consolidate vocabulary through regular, timed reviews. Here's an example of how you might use spaced repetition to learn new vocabulary in a foreign language. Day 1, you learn 10 new words. You create flashcards, physical or digital, for each word, with the word on one side and its definition and an example sentence on the other. You review the flashcards several times throughout the day. Day 2, you review the same 10 flashcards again, but the intervals between reviews are slightly longer. If you remember a word easily, you can increase the time until you see it again. If you struggle with a word, you'll see it more frequently. Day 3, you introduce 10 new words, but you also review the previous day's words. The intervals for the older words continue to increase. Day 4 and onward, you continue to add new words and review older ones, with the intervals between reviews growing for words you remember well. Example with the word bonjour, French for hello. Day 1, learn bonjour. Review it multiple times. Day 2, review bonjour once or twice. Day 4, review bonjour once. Day 7, review bonjour again. If you remember it easily, you might not see it again for another week or 2. Benefits of spaced repetition. Improved retention. Spaced repetition takes advantage of the way our brains learn and remember information. Efficient learning. You spend less time reviewing things you already know well. Reduced forgetting. By revisiting information just before you're likely to forget it, you strengthen the memory and increase the likelihood of long-term retention. Key points. Consistency is key. Regularly review your flashcards or use your chosen app to maximize the benefits. Start small. Don't try to learn too many new words at once. Begin with a manageable number and gradually increase as you get comfortable with the system. Personalize. Adjust the intervals and frequency of reviews based on your own learning style and progress. Celebrate every small win in your language journey. Positive reinforcement motivates and embeds the learning deeper. Here are some examples of how to celebrate small wins in your language learning journey. using positive reinforcement to boost motivation and retention. Once you have completed a language learning challenge, reward yourself with a new book, movie, or language learning resource. Celebrating even the smallest victories triggers the release of dopamine in your brain, which is associated with pleasure and reward. This reinforces the learning process and motivates you to continue. It also helps you cultivate a positive attitude toward language learning, making it a more enjoyable and sustainable journey. Remember, focus on progress, not perfection. Don't wait for major breakthroughs to celebrate. Acknowledge and reward even small steps forward. Make it personal. Choose rewards that genuinely excite and motivate you. Share your success. Tell friends, family, or online communities about your achievements. Their support and encouragement can be a powerful motivator. By incorporating positive reinforcement into your language learning routine, you can create a cycle of success and enjoyment, leading to faster and more sustainable progress. Understanding psycholinguistics reveals that learning happens on both conscious and subconscious levels. Here's an example. Imagine you're learning to play the guitar. Conscious learning. You actively focus on learning chords, scales, and finger placement. You might follow instructional videos, practice specific exercises, and memorize song lyrics. This involves deliberate effort and attention. Subconscious learning. As you repeatedly practice, your brain forms neural pathways that automate these movements. Without actively thinking, your fingers start to find the right chords, and your strumming pattern becomes smoother. You might even find yourself humming the melody of a song while doing other tasks, indicating that the music has been absorbed at a subconscious level. Now, let's explore how this applies to language learning. Conscious learning. You study grammar rules, memorize vocabulary lists, and actively practice speaking and writing in the new language. Subconscious learning. As you immerse yourself in the language through reading, listening, and speaking, your brain subconsciously absorbs patterns, pronunciation, and nuances. You might start understanding spoken language without actively translating, or find yourself using new vocabulary spontaneously in conversations. This demonstrates how learning is not just a conscious effort, but also a process happening beneath the surface. The subconscious mind plays a crucial role in consolidating and integrating new information, making learning more efficient and effortless over time. Creating an environment that encourages natural language absorption can make learning feel like second nature. Here are some examples of natural language absorption, where you learn without actively studying. First, consider children acquiring their first language. Young children don't study grammar rules or vocabulary lists. Instead, they absorb language through constant exposure to their native language in everyday life. They learn by listening to their parents, siblings, and others around them. Secondly, try immersing yourself in a foreign country. When you live in a country where the language you're learning is spoken, you naturally pick up new words, phrases, and pronunciation patterns just by going about your daily life. You hear conversations on the street, read signs, and interact with locals. Finally, watching TV shows or movies in a foreign language. Even if you don't understand everything, watching TV shows or movies in your target language exposes you to authentic speech, pronunciation, and cultural references. Over time, you'll start to recognize patterns and understand more. Fluency might take time, but aligning with your brain's natural processes accelerates your progress. Here are some of the key mechanisms involved. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. Every time we learn something new, our brain changes physically. This process is enhanced by repetition and reinforcement. Attention and focus. Attention acts as a filter, determining what information gets processed. When we focus on something, the brain prioritizes that information and strengthens the neural connections associated with it. Memory formation. Learning involves the encoding, storage, and retrieval of information. Short-term memory holds information temporarily, whereas long-term memory stores information for extended periods. Pattern recognition. The brain is constantly seeking patterns and connections. When we learn, we connect new information to existing knowledge, creating a web of understanding. Multi-sensory integration. Learning is enhanced when multiple senses are engaged. The brain processes information from sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste, creating a richer and more memorable learning experience. Emotional engagement. Emotions play a crucial role in learning. Positive emotions like curiosity, excitement, and interest enhance memory formation and motivation. Sleep and consolidation. Sleep is essential for consolidating and solidifying new memories. During sleep, the brain processes and organizes information learned during the day. Practice and repetition. Practice reinforces neural pathways, making connections stronger and more efficient. The more we practice a skill or review information, the better we learn and remember it. Feedback and error correction. Receiving feedback on our performance helps us identify errors and make corrections. This process strengthens the correct neural pathways and weakens the incorrect ones. Social interaction. Learning in a social context through collaboration and discussion can enhance understanding and retention. The brain is wired for social interaction, and learning from and with others can be a powerful motivator. Understanding these natural processes can help educators and learners design more effective learning strategies. By leveraging neuroplasticity, engaging multiple senses, fostering emotional connections, and providing opportunities for practice and feedback, we can optimize the learning experience and unlock our full cognitive potential. Beyond English, these principles apply to any language. The mind's flexibility is truly remarkable, and here are some examples of how it transcends linguistic boundaries. Code switching. Bilingual individuals seamlessly switch between languages and conversations, often within the same sentence. Their brains effortlessly adapt to different grammatical structures and vocabulary choices, demonstrating an impressive level of linguistic agility. Accent adaptation. When immersed in a new language environment, our brains start to adjust to the accent and rhythm of the language. Even if we don't consciously practice, our pronunciation gradually shifts, showcasing the brain's ability to adapt to new auditory input. Learning new sounds. Phonemes, or distinct units of sound, vary greatly across languages. For instance, the rolled R in Spanish doesn't exist in English. Yet, with practice, the brain can learn to produce and recognize these novel sounds. Grammatical flexibility. Different languages have unique grammatical structures. However, the brain can learn to process and understand these variations, even if they initially seem counterintuitive to our native language patterns. Cross-linguistic transfer. Knowledge and skills from one language can transfer to another. For example, understanding the concept of verb tenses in one's native language can make it easier to grasp verb conjugation in a new language. Creative language use. Multilingual individuals often play with language, creating puns, jokes, or wordplay that blend elements from different languages. This showcases the brain's ability to think creatively and flexibly across linguistic boundaries. These examples demonstrate the incredible adaptability of the human brain when it comes to language. It's a testament to our innate capacity to learn, grow, and connect with others through the rich tapestry of languages that exist in the world. By mastering these techniques, you're not just learning a language, you're hacking your mind for better performance. As we wrap up, remember that the journey to fluency is a winding river, not a straight canal. There will be bends, currents, and even the occasional waterfall, but with patience and persistence, you'll navigate the course and reach the vast ocean of fluency. Thank you for joining this exploration of psycholinguistics. Here's to your success in English fluency and beyond.